Hello, how's everybody doing? This YouTube is on Dance Without Music, but it's I needed to how can I say, not explain, but the different. Okay, I took I wanted to compare something. I guess it's a compare, but I'm comparing Dance Without Music to yoga. The reason why I'm doing this is because it gives me an opportunity to show people, because now I'm in the fourth year of Dance Without Music. And there's going to be a lot of things that I can't explain. And you're going to see a lot of things. So I decided to use yoga as something to draw people's interest to Dance Without Music and show them that's not strange at all, okay? Because there's a lot of terms in Dance Without Music. Everything is like made, like the vocabulary and everything is made for Dance Without Music because it doesn't exist. Okay, it didn't exist, and I'm the creator of Dance Without Music. So I need to compare it with something so that people can see what Dance Without Music actually is. So I'm comparing it to yoga, and also hopefully to get people interested in doing Dance Without Music. And it'll also show, because I'll be using some terms that people don't realize, and they'll be thinking that it's the actual term, but it will show them that it's not strange, but it's something that you do every day. So the first difference between Dance Without Music and yoga, since this was so popular, I decided to do it on this. And the knowledge that I'm pulling from yoga is from what my friends do, excuse me, and what I gathered from while I was creating the Dance Without Music. So the things in Dance Without Music, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The things in Dance Without Music is things that I've been working with for over 40 years, I guess. Yeah, I guess you can say good 40 years. And I put them together to come up with Dance Without Music. Why did I do that? I did it because to let people see what I've learned. How can I say? Okay. Basically, I guess I can say the thing that I wanted the most was to make life easier for people. Because this is how I started. I guess I can tell you how I started it, which was like 4 years ago when I started doing, I'm sorry, when I started to doing the Dance Without Music YouTubes. So it's like 4 years ago. And in actuality, now that I think about it, because I'm thinking while I'm doing this, that's probably why I'm just going through this. I can't really write it on paper because there's so many things. But I did explain it in the intro in the Dance Without Music, so I don't really have to say that. But for this video, I would have to tell you something about the intro. It's just to make people more aware of their surroundings. And I guess another point would be to connect your mind and body together. That could be another one. Now, in Dance Without Music, if you go from the beginning, which you have to start from the beginning, if you're really serious about it, I use actual dance. I mean, that's why I called it Dance Without Music, because in order to understand the concepts, I use dance. And I featured a dance. It's a Thriller dance, as far as Michael Jackson Thriller is concerned, the Thriller dance, to keep the interest and to draw points together about Dance Without Music. So if you see the first videos on dancehall music, everything is described, everything is explained as far as how I began Dance Without Music. Now, the first big difference with Dance Without Music and yoga is the fact that in Dance Without Music, you can do it anytime. You always have your mind doing something. You don't clear your mind for anything. But what you do is you develop your mind because you get to know your mind and how it works with your body. And from what I know of yoga and what I see in yoga in the YouTubes, you do positions and stuff like that and things like that. And you have these, okay, because I'm not really for sure about yoga, but it's just from what I learned. And with Dance Without Music, you learn how to do everything internally first before you actually do it. I mean, you prepare your body, you, how can I say, you process the information and you become what you can do. Okay, so in Dance Without Music, you don't do, I'm talking about yoga, you don't do like, you don't do anything new. You don't have any positions, okay? Every position, everything you do in Dance Without Music from the beginning is things that you've already done. So that's the big difference. The biggest difference, I mean, first of all, I should have said the first difference is that I wanted to mention this first. I don't know if I did. I didn't, but it's American made. Okay, of course, I'm American, and I use all American terms. I mean, things that American people would understand because I'm American. So that's the biggest difference. I have to say is number one difference is that I don't know where yoga originated, and I know there's American yoga also, but I'm the originator of Dance Without Music. And so it's originated in America, you know? So that's another plus. How can I say? Because you're actually talking to the person who originated it. Another thing is that there's so many things that I could tell you about Dance Without Music. It starts out, okay, so I guess I can talk about, like how it starts in the YouTube videos. It starts out explaining you things that you already know, but you don't really, that you take for granted, that you don't really, that you don't really know, that you don't really, that you're not really aware of. Like, for instance, we have powers, okay? Tension. Think of what in your body has tension, and we actually use that. Like like for instance, tension. It's like, for instance, like this. Okay, this is tension. Okay, but we call it a power, and it's something that you do all the time. So, but we develop that into something. We don't use any body parts because it's not the realm that I'm talking in, and plus it's not my expertise. My expertise is Dance Without Music and the realm of things that we don't really talk about, things that we don't really notice, but I have always noticed in my life. And like, for instance, one thing that I noticed in how I derived a lot of things from is from walking when I was very young. I guess I've always done this, but one time I remember very clearly as I was walking and I go, how am I walking? How is it that I'm walking? And I also remember something else. It was in the 90s when I was listening to this program, and it's guy had lost the use of his legs or something, and he asked his father. He goes, "Why did this happen to me?" He said, "You should have asked that question before it happened." You know. So that really struck me in the fact that I was doing that. I was like asking myself that question, and I was saying that's something else. I didn't know anybody else thought like that, but that's the way I've always thought. I've always thought when I was walking, I would say, why am I doing this? Even when I used to use when the cell phones came out, and I remember I would write a number or do something on a cell phone, and I said, how is it that I can do that? I mean, like, I would see glitches of things that I noticed, but I didn't know how to use them. But in Dance Without Music, we clear up all those things. The nicest thing about Dance Without Music is that I take out all the pain. I take out, like, the things that don't work, okay? Because in Dance Without Music, to study the dance without the things in Dance Without Music, I had to learn them myself. And when you learn something, I used it like you have to go through every wrong thing. And I was saying an example of how I came up, how I understand what I understand as far as Dance Without Music. It's like a car, okay, like a deck of cards. And in Dance Without Music, I mean the concepts, the things that I've learned in Dance Without Music, I had to go through each mistake, and a 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 mistake. And I had to continually go through the mistakes until I reached the answer. And I mean, don't have anything to do with the cards, because I know some people, they're like, oh, he did a jack, okay? But what I'm trying to say is I had to go through each card, each one. And then at the end, you get the card. And it's hypothetical, okay? And at the end, you get the card. You get the answer because you did all the wrong ones. And you have to do it over again. And you have to do it again for everything. But see, I take that out. The only thing I give you is the answers. So it facilitates by learning Dance Without Music, okay? And probably some things that you realize in your life, but you don't know how to organize them, but I knew how to do it, and I stuck with it. So what I'm saying is like the powers, another power, like I just showed you, even this is, okay, like this can be tension or stress, okay? Just me going like this, okay, is stress. That's what we call a power. I'm going to sit down on this chair and I'm going to get up. And then we have another power. It's called hydrogen 1. It doesn't mean anything. It's just with Dance Without Music. It's, you divide out things and you do it subconscious. Everything that you do is subconscious. Everything you do in your subconscious mind, I pretty much I have deteriorated my subconscious mind for doing things, so I could see in my mind what I'm actually doing. So that means that the subconscious mind deals with, you don't have that oneness with your body and your mind. Like, for instance, weight, that's another. Oh, I was telling you about Hydrogen X. Hydrogen X is the term I use because it's an energy that we use that nobody even realizes it. You realize it in your subconscious mind. You use it all the time. And it's done by habit. You keep doing it repetitively to where you don't even have to hardly think about it. But like when I get off of this chair and I stand up, I mean, I could see the Hydrogen X, okay? I call the Hydrogen X the energy because it's so clean. What I see, I mean, like, after a while, you'll be able to see the things that are happening. And the thing about it is, it's not like seeing inside your body or anything. It's just noticing the things that you always get glimpses of and you don't pay it attention. But with Dance Without Music, you begin to strengthen your powers. Like, for instance, like when I stand up, like I was telling you, the Hydrogen X, I can see where it's lifting myself up, okay? And a lot of this I got from walking, understanding my walk. I wanted to understand my walk. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it. Like I said, it's tragic to learn how to do it. But I have here in Dance Without Music the answers, okay? So I did that, and I'm almost finished with one section because I went into, okay, I don't want to get into that because it's like, if it's really advanced. So I'm going to talk about another. The Hydrogen X is like I'm lifting this box, okay? Now with me, because I've studied it so long, I can see, I can notice. I noticed the Hydrogen X. I call it Hydrogen X, and because I can't, just no word for it now, but we use it all the time. So I call it Hydrogen X, and I can see it lifting this box. Another thing is weight, okay? What we call weight is when I put a weight on here, this is movement, weight and movement, which is another power that we use in Dance Without Music. So we have weight, we have stress. I'm trying to think if I can think of another one. We have the Hydrogen X, which is also a power that we use. You use it all the time, but I had to name it. That's what I'm saying. I had to name things because they're not named at all. So just, it explains all those things. I'm trying to think of another power. There's no gravity. That's one big one. And you have to go through the gravity tapes, okay? I don't believe in the gravity, okay? And the problem with that is that we have accustomed our body to believe in gravity, but in actuality, it hinders our growth and our structure. Right? And structure is also a power, structure. Like when I'm standing up, we call this a structure, okay? So structure, if I go like this, it's just a structure. This is a structure, this is a structure, and that's a power also. See, it's just everything that you do, but it's named to show you how these things work. So I went over to, okay, gravity. I was telling you, there's no gravity. I don't believe in gravity. And it's been a while. And the thing about gravity, which is a big one, in order to continually do Dance Without Music, the concepts, you have to drop the concept of gravity. That's a big one. I think I'm going to end it here. But that's a big one. I don't believe in gravity. There's another, it's just we use it all the time. Haven't you ever noticed why you can't understand what you're doing when you're walking or when you're playing a game, okay? But these are things that famous people actually get accustomed to doing. They don't name them, but they can't explain it to you. But they have to learn these things. And a lot of them, like if you see somebody go, oh wow, they go against gravity, they defy gravity. It's not that, it's just subconsciously they know that there's no gravity, okay? But we've created our whole structure, and I don't use body parts or anything with biology, because first of all, it take you out of the realm of concentration that I'm in. So what do we have instead of gravity? I think that the thing that we find instead of gravity is you get to see your Hydrogen X. You would not see the Hydrogen X without gravity. And there's one video that I put on, we're balancing on balancing on balancing. Okay, so that means we're balancing on balancing on balancing on balancing. So that's one of the things that we do. It's no gravity. We don't use gravity. I don't believe in gravity at all. And I've been not believing in it, and I'm taking it, you actually take it out of your body. When I'm saying you take it out of your body, it's like a concept. The only thing I could express to you that's closest to it is there was this nursery rhyme, the sky's falling, the sky's falling. And and what this, I guess, cartoon or what this person did, or it's some kind of cartoon or whatever, what everybody had to do because the sky was falling and all of this, and somebody said that, but say if everybody believed the sky is falling, which doesn't really make any sense, but we would start living our lives differently if we believed that the sky is falling. Everybody believed that the sky is falling. I mean, not that it means anything, that's just an example. But we would just change, with that concept in mind, we would change the way we do things, we would change our body structure, okay? Like I said, I don't want to go into the realm of how the muscles and things like that work, because that's not the realm that I'm in. I'm in the realm where, for instance, Hydrogen X, you can see Hydrogen X if you take out gravity. But what the hardest part about gravity is that our whole body is, we live our lives of the things that we believe, and because we believe in gravity, our bodies develop differently. I could say the structures, because structure is a power. Our structures develop differently, and we program that into our structure, which kind of harms our structure, because then we can't see the balancing on balancing on balancing. Like, for instance, I could see the balancing on balancing on balancing, and I can also see the Hydrogen X, okay? Like, for instance, I'm putting my hand up like this. I mean, I could see that, but with gravity, with my concept of gravity and the way I had developed myself, because in the beginning I used to think about gravity. I couldn't, when I was telling you about when I was walking and I wondered why I couldn't see myself walking or understand what was happening while I was walking, that had to do with gravity, because I had developed, we all grow up and we all learn and we all do things the way that everybody else did them, and it affects what we can conceive. Okay, so because gravity, the definition of gravity, you will not be able to see, because it's physically just there, see the force or the power of Hydrogen X. You won't see it. Okay, and remember, don't think of Hydrogen X as in the chemical. It's just a term that I had to use for an energy that I know is there. And like, if I lift this, okay, now this is another thing, okay, this is all Dance Without Music, and see, I'm lifting this, but I could feel pressure, okay, I could feel pressure, and this is a force that's just going down. That's all we term it in Dance Without Music. It's just a direction that's going down, that's moving. It's a movement that goes down. Now I can stop this movement because I have pressure. I can feel the pressure because I can see it, because I told you I took a lot of the I don't have the concept of gravity in my mind. So I took this, okay? So I could see the power of pressure, and the power of pressure is that. Now we also have an apparatus. I'm using an apparatus, and that's another thing you can't see with gravity. But an apparatus is something, you learn this in Dance Without Music, is something that you use to do this, because this is an apparatus, and we had to learn to do this. But, okay, like I'm doing this now, and I'm going to keep the apparatus, okay? And now I'm going to put this in. And the powers, the realm that I'm talking about, is holding this up, the same apparatus. And now let me use the same apparatus and do something else. This, I can put this in there. I'm sorry, I smoke. And that's the same apparatus that I'm using. If I use the cards, it's the same apparatus. So that's another thing that you learn about the apparatus. So there's so many things that you learn. And like that's as far as I can go. Gravity is a real big deal. But this is, so you can see that I didn't really have to talk too much about yoga, because I know people who tuned into the state, who's tuned into this product, and they know a lot about yoga, but now they know a lot about Dance Without Music, and it's better so they can see how they control how the difference is, because you might know so much about yoga and I just told you about Dance Without Music. But all in all, we have 4 years of Dance Without Music. So go to the first lesson, and I must say you have to start at the beginning, okay? You will see as you go along. I say though, but since I started it, I think only a handful of people can understand. But it's so powerful and unique that if just 1 or 2 people do it, it'd be so powerful. And it's just so powerful. I don't think a lot of people can will grasp from the beginning to now, because it takes a long time, and it does take a long time. So far it's 4 years, but when I speak, maybe it takes, I say a good, to get really into it, because I took all the pain and there's different kinds of pain, but I took all of the danger out. So that's another thing. I took the danger out, and I did, like for instance, when I told you about the cards, I only did the ones that what I learned from. I did all the answers, the real answers. They all connect to each other. So I hope you start on Dance Without Music and get interested in it. I am the guinea pig, and I can show you that it's working, but there's coming a time, because everything is proving true, okay? Because this last one that I had to do a process, and I talk about processing the information and everything. I also speak about how a lot of people think things are depression, but in Dance Without Music, it's not like you go through something, but it's not like a depression. It feels like it, but it's not. But when your body learns something, like I was trying to say, when your body learns something, it has to drop out the old and replenish. And I give you an example, and this is all in the tapes. When you're doing Dance Without Music, you learn a lot, and there may come times, this is like an example. You ever had, how can I say? Okay, let's just use money or bank account. Say if they called you and they told you, I don't want to do that because I don't, let me see. Okay, how about this? I don't know if it's true now. Now it doesn't happen. But there used to come a time when you had to have a debit card, okay? The debit card had to be mailed to your house. And they tell you can't use the bank machine, and maybe just say, this is hypothetical, if they tell you can't use the bank machine for like 2 weeks, okay, and you're used to using the bank machine, you're used to using your debit card at least 6 times a day, but you can't do it anymore. So think about that. So say you can't do that for 2 weeks. So it's like that. So you go through like a depression, but it's not really a depression, because you know that after 2 weeks you're going to get your debit card. So that's what happens in Dance Without Music. You learn things, and then sometimes you have to go through a period. It doesn't take that long, not even a day. Usually it doesn't last a day, okay? But it's like it seems like a depression, but it's not, okay? And you have to realize that, hey, I've been doing these lessons, and then your body refreshes, because you can enjoy things more. So before you could enjoy things, but now you get a higher enjoyment. So it has to flush out the old and bring up the new. So that's another thing that I explain in Dance Without Music. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty long now. And come in and join me on the Dance Without Music, because I'm pretty much starting my new, we're still on precision, and it takes a long time, precision, because it put me into where I had to learn a lot of other things in order to do the lesson. So I'm not prepared to do finish the precision, but it's already started. So thank you very much. See you later.